Listen, I'm definitely not a stranger to moving. Throughout my 22 years in the Marine Corps, as you can see in the background there, I moved probably about 6 or 7 times across multiple different states. And I understand moving into a different state blindly. So that's essentially why I created the channel Living in Burleson, Texas. Because moving across different states, it definitely comes with, some anxiety and stress. So I created this channel to help relieve some of that anxiety and stress, to help you determine where you want to move in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, we're actually seeing a huge influx of people moving into the Burleson, Texas area. Now, they may not be moving directly into Burleson, Texas, but they're moving into the suburbs surrounding Burleson, Texas. And why is that? It might be a slower paced life, or they might want a new build in a different area, or, different reasons that may come with, suburb living. But the question is, what suburb would you want to live in? It definitely can be a bit overwhelming when you're moving from states like California, New York, North Carolina, Florida, or Missouri, where I am from. But that's exactly why I created this channel, to help relieve that stress and anxiety and make it not so overwhelming moving into a different state. Because we're actually seeing a huge influx of people moving into Burleson, Texas, because of the affordability of living here. Now, some of you might be relocating because of a job, and you want to be within close proximity of that job. And by the way, Grapevine is definitely a great place to live in, just because of the uniqueness of the homes in Grapevine. And we're going to go through a couple of those properties and what you can actually purchase in the Grapevine area. Now, if you're working in and around the Grapevine area, we definitely have quite a few different options. And that's why, we're going to want to reduce some of that confusion and maybe help you narrow it down to just a few things, because I'm going to break down the top 5 suburbs that we're seeing a lot of people move into, that are, because you're working in the Grapevine area. And we're going to break down those 5 suburbs and why it is that people are moving into the suburbs around Grapevine. Now, we're actually seeing a huge influx of people coming in from basically all over the country due to the affordability here in Texas. So hopefully we'll be able to give you some insight as to why these areas are so popular. But ultimately, it's going to be your decision. And usually, based on our videos, people are able to narrow it down to 1 or 2 suburbs. That way, whenever you actually come into town and you're making that decision, you don't have to drive all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area, because that in itself could take several days. And we definitely don't want you wasting your time. So that's exactly why you're gonna wanna stick around, because this is gonna be an extensive overview of the top 5 suburbs in the Grapevine, Texas area. And I'm excited to walk you through Grapevine, Texas. Let's start off and jump right into the map. By the way, my name is Mike Retrovato with the Living in Burleson, Texas team. And I've lived here in Burleson, Texas since retiring from the Marine Corps, as you can see in the background there, in 2022. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Burleson, Texas and the surrounding suburbs, then subscribe below so you can be the first to know about the current market in Burleson, Texas. I love helping people make their move to Burleson, Texas. So whether it's 5 days or 5 months, feel free to reach out. I'd love to help you make a smooth transition to Burleson, Texas. All right, so before we get started on the top 5 suburbs around Grapevine that we're seeing a huge influx of people coming into, I wanted to give you a large scale overview. So what I've got here is the different counties in which we're going to be working in. So up here at the top, you see you've got Denton County, you've got Collin County, which is where Frisco is kind of split by two different counties. And then you've got Tarrant County down here on the bottom left and Dallas County on the bottom right. And then you also have Parker County over here. So those are the different counties that we're going to be looking at today. In the 5 different suburbs that we're going to be covering today is Lewisville right here. So if you're working in and around the Grapevine area, the top 5 suburbs that we're seeing a huge influx of people going into is Lewisville right here, Irving right down here, and then Southlake right here, White Settlement over here. And I'll explain to you why each one has a huge influx of people going into in depth on each one. And then we've got Frisco up here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the first one, which is Lewisville. All right, so as we zoom in here to Lewisville, the main roads that we've got through Lewisville is the Sam Rayburn Tollway right here, kind of skirts the outside here. And then you've got the 121 right here. And then you've also got the 35E that runs kind of north and south. And a lot of the properties over here are going to be a little bit more on the more affordable range, whereas the ones over here are a little bit more pricey, just because of the area where it's at. You're closer to like golf courses and a little bit more prestigious area. But as far as things to do, you've got quite a few nature parks in Lewisville. You've got a railroad park, a roller rink, so there is a lot to do in Lewisville. You've got a couple of different golf courses. You've got the Lake Park golf course, Lake Park here, so there's definitely a lot of lake life up here. You've got a splash park. There is a lot to do here in Lewisville. So let's go ahead and jump over to affordability in Lewisville. So looking here in Lewisville, let's just check out a few properties. So you've got one for $312, $396. Let's look at $312. Let's check this one out. So you've got a front-facing garage. It's only got one picture, so let's skip that one. All right, we've got $396. Let's check that one out. So it was listed for $399,900 and actually sold for $396,900. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's got a fireplace, 1,598 square feet, and was built in 1997. So it's got a brick front, got a nice little entryway with an office. There's the fireplace in the living room. Opens up to the kitchen. So not too bad for that price range. So that's what $396 will get you in Lewisville. Let's see what else we've got. So we've got $450. There we go, we got $450. Let's check that one out. So it was listed at $450 and then sold for $450. And this one is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,069 square feet, and was built in 1998. So you got a nice living room. Looks like it's virtually staged. No, it's actually staged. Got a nice primary bedroom there. be used as a little office there. Laundry room, an okay sized backyard. So yeah, that's what 450K will get you in Lewisville. Let's see what else we got out there. So now if you go to the eastern side of Lewisville, that's where it starts getting a little bit more pricey. So you still do have like 415, because I think these are a little bit closer to the highway, but as soon as we start getting back here, you got one for, let's check this 1.1 property out. So it was listed for 150 and it actually sold for 124. So I mean, it looks like a castle, definitely well lit up. You got a nice wrought iron staircase going up as soon as you come in. Looks like a loft area upstairs, wide open concept. You got a fireplace there. Nice kitchen. There's the primary bath and bedroom. Got a huge closet there. Yeah, so that's what 1.15 or 1.124 will get you in Lewisville, Texas. Now let's go ahead and jump over to some stats real quick. All right, so the median home sold price for the last 3 years in Lewisville is averaging $385,000. So you're gonna see some peaks and valleys here. That's normal, you know, ups and downs as interest rates come down. That pricing is gonna come down as well. And then you've got months is Irving. Here's some stats and data on Lewisville, Texas. Lewisville has a population of 133,553. And the commute time to Grapevine is about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on traffic. And then if you're gonna be traveling a lot, the commute time to the Dallas-Fort Worth airport is gonna be about 15 to 20 minutes. And the median home listing price was $422,500, while the median home sold price was $435,000. The current months of housing inventory is averaging 1.9 months, and the school ratings for the Lewisville Independent School District, or ISD, is an A according to niche.com, and it was ranked number 34 out of 883 schools for best school districts in Texas. And it was ranked number 46 out of 807 schools for best school districts for athletes in Texas. And it was ranked number 49 out of 896 schools for most diverse school districts in Texas. The ISD has 7 high schools, 17 middle schools, and 40 elementary schools. Flower Mound High School has an A+ on niche.com and was ranked number 28 out of 1,876 schools for best public schools in Texas. And it has 3,542 students. Hebron High School has an A+ on niche.com and was ranked number 60 out of 1,876 schools for best public schools in Texas, and it has 3,678 students. Okay, before we get started on the next suburb, Irving, or Irvine, however you want to pronounce it, depending on who you ask. I just want to give you a quick overview. So we're talking about the suburb Grapevine, if that's where you're working, and the 5 suburbs that we're seeing a lot of people move into if they're working in the Grapevine area for affordability or whatever the reasons may be. So we covered Lewisville right here, and now we're going to go into Irving, or Irvine, however you want to pronounce it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in the map. So as I zoom in here to Irvine, some of the things that I wanted to kind of point out is the main roads going through. So you've got 183 going through, you've got the 161 going through Irvine, and then you've got the 114 right here, and then the 348, and then the 635 up here. So one of the cons, you know, can be a pro or a con, and then you got the 356 down here, and then the 12 right here. Kind of a con and a pro could be the highways, because you've got a lot of highways going through Irving, you know, and it could be also a pro because you easy access in and out. And then a con, you've also got the DFW airport right here that is literally right in Irving. So you are going to have a little bit of airport noise with a lot of the properties here. So just something to think about. But if you're going to be commuting a lot, you do have easy access to the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. So let's go ahead and jump over to affordability. All right, so for affordability, as you get closer to the airport, homes get a little bit more expensive, but within Irving, it is still definitely affordable. You've got 325, 441. Let's check out this one at 317. So this is a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and it's 1472 square feet, and was built in 2006. And it was listed for $359,900 and actually sold for $317. So they did quite a bit of a price reduction on this one before it sold. Let's check out the photo. So you got an open living room, and then the stairs going up to the loft upstairs. Kind of a little bit of a closed off. It's not really an open concept between the kitchen, dining room, and living room there. So there's your kitchen and dining room there. You got the door to the backyard. Looks like the backyard is definitely a little small. You got some stainless steel appliances there. And here's the little loft area upstairs. Looks like your laundry room and a bathroom upstairs, and then bedrooms are upstairs. So yeah, that's what $317,000 will get you in Irving. Let's check out the rest of the map. So you've got 385, 160, 420, 192, 650. Let's check that one out. So it's got a nice little brick frontage. This one is 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and it's 2678 square feet, and was built in 2008. And you got 0.23 acres with this one, and it was listed for $650,000 and then actually sold for $650,000. So they didn't have to do a price reduction on this one, and it was on market for only 13 days. So this one was definitely priced right. Looks like it's got 2 floors. Got a nice custom wood garage front. Nice little entryway with a formal dining room as soon as you come in. Some wide stairs and some custom wooden cabinetry with the stainless steel appliances. Definitely a nice touch. Got a little eat-in bar there with another little dining room going into the living room. This is definitely a wide open concept, a lot more open than the other one. You can see up to the game room there, or loft area. This one has a pool in the backyard. It's got the primary bedroom and bathroom downstairs, and then the other bedrooms and a little game room upstairs, and there's your pool, little backyard oasis, little fenced in area for the dogs. So yeah, that's what $650,000 will get you. Let's see what else we've got on the map. We've got, there we go. Let's check out this 1.1. So this one is 3,600 square feet, was built in 2001, and this is a 4-bedroom, 4 full bathrooms, and there is a $3,800 per year HOA on this one, and it's on 0.321 acres. So it was listed for 125 and sold for 105. So it actually went up. They got more than what it was offered at. So let's check this one out. That is a very huge entrance. Looks like, I don't know, 15 to 20 feet ceilings. Got beautiful arches, a nice entryway with a little game room as soon as you come in. Definitely custom cabinetry with even a custom fridge to match the cabinets. This definitely is a $1 million property. It shows very well in the photos as well. You got the fireplace there, and then what looks like it's going into the primary there. Yeah, so you got your primary downstairs. There's the primary bath. I think their kids like pink, at least their daughter does. And then definitely sports fans. There's the little loft upstairs and a huge backyard. The only thing it's missing is a pool. So there's some amenities, kind of a rough sketch outline of the property. It's kind of odd. And then there's the floor plan. So that's what 1.1 will get you in Irving. So let's go ahead and check out some trends and stats and data real quick. The month's supply inventory is looking like 3.6. So you could essentially go 3.6 months for the city of Irving. You could go 3.6 months without listing another house, and you would have enough homes for everyone for 3.6 months. Of course, we wouldn't want to do that, but you could go 3.6 months. Now, we're going to go ahead and drop some stats and data for Irving, and then we will head on to the next one. Here's some stats and data on Irving, Texas. The population of Irving, Texas is 256,684. The commute time to Grapevine, depending on traffic, is going to be about 20 to 30 minutes. And then the commute time, if you're traveling a lot, to the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport is going to be about 15 to 20 minutes. And the median home listing price was $459,000, and the median home sold price was $425,000. The current months of housing inventory is averaging 2.6 months, and the school ratings for the Irving Independent School District, or ISD, is a B on niche.com, and that ISD was ranked 253 out of 912 schools for best places to teach in Texas, and that ISD was also ranked 312 out of 896 schools for districts with the best teachers in Texas. And then it was ranked 458 out of 896 schools for most diverse school districts in Texas. It has 7 high schools, 8 middle schools, and 20 elementary schools. Jack E. Singley Academy has a B+ on niche.com, and it was ranked number 525 out of 1,876 schools for best public high schools in Texas, and it has 1,337 students. MacArthur High School has a B+ on niche.com and was ranked number 767 out of 1,876 schools for best public schools in Texas, and it has 2,586 students.